So I've got a good question for you. Let's say someone has never played golf before and they jump on the mat here and they want to get a lesson off you. What's the fastest way for them to hit reasonable shots?
Impact drills.
Okay.
Impact drills. A lot of stick drills, a lot of impact. Leo, come on over here. So I'll have a lot of guys do impact drills, and just because, go ahead and put a ball in behind 10 inches. So what I'll see from a lot of players is as they come into this impact and they take it back, they might have their handle forward, but they're releasing, okay?
Yeah.
So that's lack of angle of attack. So the angle of attack is gonna create some better compression, okay? So if I have a ball right here, I can't sit here and hit a ball with throwing any angle here. I have to have some angle of attack in order to get that shaft lean. Now, I come back over here, I can have shaft lean and have my club like this, okay? So there's different ways. That's why when you see somebody hitting a driver, their club head is lower coming in, but their handle can still be forward.
Sure.
So same thing with an iron. So you can still get it, but you get anything behind your ball or rough or anything, you need angle of attack. So putting a ball behind and doing some of that is huge for like compression.
So beginner golfer, put yourself in that situation. How far are they putting the ball behind?
I'd say about 10 inches. I'd say right here. I mean, you know, Mac O'Grady's probably the originator of this drill from what I know. It could have been guys from, you know, the first, what was the book they had? Golf Machine. So Golf Machine, I mean, Mac could put it like this close and still hit it. I mean, if I came into impact and went in and did that, okay, I could probably get it even further and further forward. I didn't turn on that. I had more slide on that to get past it.
Sure.
But as long as you're rotating and doing that, that's going to help compression right off the bat. So I think a lot of players, if they did this, would help a lot for people. I think when you're doing an impact drill, I think another thing to really understand is when you're doing these impacts, I see a lot of people just staying in this impact and just using their arms, okay? I tell players, listen, everybody has a certain amount of turn here. I'm not going to tell you exactly, but my numbers would be if I had like a baseline. This is not anything you guys need to know. But if my hips turn back 45 and my shoulders turn 90 or more, at first parallel, that'd be the first third of the swing, second third. Okay, so if we're taking it in thirds and it's 90, shoulders are back 30, hips are back 15, shoulders back 60, hips 30. So when I'm doing an impact drill, I don't want to be nothing here. I want to have some reference to what I did for my real swing before I start turning open. So if you're doing the impact drill, make sure you're not just stuck here and just going arms first and then hitting, okay? You can still get good compression like that, but your arm's going to look like it's way behind you, okay? So those are things to think about if you're doing that.
So let's talk about a player then, and I'll just swap with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that club.
That from their address into their backswing, they're not quite sure how to take the golf club away, right? So we see a lot of players not really use their wrists. They might just pull their arms, and that's going to affect a lot of what we see through impact. What's your best drill to help players load the golf club or hinge their wrists in such a way where they can control the club so it makes impact easier on the way through?
A great question. For me, so set up like you're gonna hit, I think the first thing is give me a stick, please, Leo. Yeah. So first off, if I said here, let's put this on the side of your shaft, usually we'll put it in the butt end of the club, but you're good enough to not have to do that for a second. So what we'll do is we'll put a stick on the ground down ball line, a little more this way, Leo, this. There you go. So if I said the first move away is here, see it's touching your side? Okay, I don't want this to snag and hit me. I want it to stay on your side, at least to here. Then you're going to actually set it. And I'm usually set by left arm parallel. Now, you could look at that and go, well, DJ sets it right here. A lot of Max guys set it right here. Well, I wouldn't say they were wrong. I'd say I have my players do something different. If you look set up again and you look at Tiger and Nicklaus and they were super, super wide, or Rory, who's right, who's wrong? You know what I mean? There is no right or wrong, but if you're trying to set it, what are we trying to set? Are we trying to set more radial or wrist cock, or are we trying to set more flexion extension?
Well, a lot of players, and I'm sure you get this whenever you work with players online, is they'll send a picture or a video of their swing and they go, look, I'm loading the golf club. I've got this nice L-shaped structure between the left arm and the club shaft, but all they've actually done is just fold the trail arm. So it's giving the appearance that they've loaded the club, but they actually
100%.
haven't. So feeling that, I like the stick reference, that it's sliding and staying in contact with the body. And then from here, when we get to
That's
lead arm
perfect.
parallel to the ground.
And you can get this pointed at ball line or inside ball line because it's going to shallow outside ball line for a lot of players, okay?
Yeah.
So that's exactly, so when you look at your wrist load, I love your wrist load right there. And if you took it to the top, I'd say there's no more wrist. I just say we're finishing all the way at top. If someone has flexibility and they can stretch that, they would be back all the way there, okay? But they're not changing their wrist angles from there. So when I teach wrist angles, and I don't want to get off topic, but we'll talk about wrist angles in a second if you want. But I'd say that's the quickest way to set it. Now, I think that everybody has to have some type of trigger, and everyone's going to be different on that. So I'm going to ask you, what is your trigger?
For hinging the wrist?
No, just for you in general to start the engine, to start your swing.
I push into the ball of my trail foot.
It's great. Everybody has one different. Some people bounce. Some people start pressure on the left and right. Some turn in, actually get pressure more forward before back. Some move to the toe right away.
Yeah.
So everyone's different. So I think that's number one. Then the takeaway, I also, this will help a lot of players. I say, listen, if you have a steering wheel here and you just brought the steering wheel, you either turn it this way or this way, okay? So I have very little steering wheel turn at start before I point it here and set my wrist, okay? I think a lot of people are actually grabbing the club or turning the steering wheel right away and moving this off their side. So if I had zero steering wheel turn, then I steering wheel turn to here and set my wrist, then I'm done. Okay, I'm done from there. And everybody's gonna be different on how much flexion extension they have, dictated by what their grip is and how high they wanna hit it. If they're a junior, they don't have speed. So we could argue about wrist angles for years and years about what's better or what's optimal. To me, I'm looking at the ball flight. Is the guy compression it? Does he have enough speed to get his angles more? Do we need to trap it more? I mean, then we can close the face with grip or with this. Now, the problem is the stronger you get the grip, most people have more radial, okay? And the more radial you have, the more you're actually gonna throw your angles. It is what it is. You're seeing guys with a lot of radial like Hogan, and you go, well, he had that late flexion ulnar through the ball with his lead wrist that is amazing, but not everybody can do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, some people set it. Some people even set their impact and go up top and keep the same wrist angles, and I don't hate that either.
I was watching Finau last week at the Genesis, and it was so surprising seeing in person how weak his lead hand is, especially with driver. It's like shaft leans out here, lead hands like this. It's almost like he doesn't do anything throughout his whole golf
wonder
swing.
why so many guys have so much flexion in their lead hand is because their grip is so weak and they need it.
Thanks for watching this video. YouTube thinks that you would benefit from watching this one next. So click that card and it could be the tip that you need to take your game to the next level. I'll see you next time.